Let's get ready to decode brilliance live, unfiltered, and straight from the minds that move markets and minds. Good afternoon, all. I'm Dr. Krishnameni, Coordinator for Academic Excellence and Innovation in Learning Facilitation at JKKN Institutions located in Komarpalayam, a vibrant textile town in western Tamil Nadu near Erode. Despite 2 decades of discussions, the industry academia gap still persists, especially in Tier 3 towns like ours, which form nearly 80% of India's MSME ecosystem. As we step into a future shaped by AI and defense tech momentum, particularly after Operations Sindoor, this gap has become more critical than ever. AI-driven analytics have already cut operational costs by 15% within months. India is set to add US dollar 400 billion to its GDP over the next 4 years. Now is the time to ensure our learners and institutions are aligned with this pace of change. This session aims to explore how we can strike a balance between traditional skilling and the adoption of AI tools that are reshaping industries. Through hands-on learning, real-world applications, and India-specific insights, we empower learners to use AI not just as a tool, but as a strategic enabler of innovation and growth. Now, it's my honor to introduce today's distinguished panel of experts. The first guest is our Dr. V.V. Gopal, Director at IILM Academy of Higher Learning, Lucknow, brings over 15 years of each of industry and academic leadership from the roles like chief manager to director at institutions such as VIT. His insights bridge both corporate and classroom perspectives. He is a respected case writing coach and keynote speaker with work published in national and international journals. His case study on JSW Shopee was among the top 10 in the ISB IB case competition and is now a part of the Harvard IB repository alongside another case on ferns and petals. With specializations in marketing management, retail, and sales and distribution, Dr. Gopal continues to inspire practitioners and scholars through his passion for live case research and experiential learning. We welcome you, sir. Next guest is our Dr. K.S. Jaganathan, Head of Production, Bacterial Vaccine, Drug Product at the Serum Institute of India, is a proud alumnus of JKKN College of Pharmacy. With over 20 years of global experience, he is contributed to major pharma firms, including Sanofi, advancing work in biologics, monoclonal antibodies, and vaccines. His academic journey spans JSS College, Dr. H.S. Gaur University, and Tokyo University, where he was a JSPS postdoctoral fellow. He has received prestigious awards, including the BioAsia Innovation Award, Young Scientist Award from the DST, and the Best Scientist Award by the Ministry of Science and Technology, selected for the Nobel Laureate meeting in Germany. His legacy spans innovation, mentorship, and international collaboration. We welcome you, sir. Our third guest is Mr. Ommsharavana, Director of JKKN Institutions, is a bold AI innovation strategist and an angel investor in transformative startups like Mango Point, Yali Mobility, Farmers Fresh Zone, and Rural Basket. He serves as an honorary professor at Oxford's Academic Union, Singularity University, ambassador for Erode, and a mentor of change under Niti Aayog. As the force behind India's AI first AI-empowered canvas at JKKN, he blends futuristic vision with actionable innovation, redefining learning environments for the digital age. We welcome you, sir. Last but not the least, here is Mr. Rangarajan Ragavachari, CEO of JKKN Institutions, brings over 30 years of transformation leadership across sectors like manufacturing, energy, FMCG, logistics, and education. Known for his work on lean systems, digital HR, and talent intelligence, he helps mid-range institutions thrive in fast-changing environments. A champion of strategic HRD and post-acquisition integration, his work consistently connects people, purpose, and performance, driving deep, sustainable impact. His insights into Tier 3 town dynamics and local commerce with institutional development make him a true architect of change. With such a powerful ensemble of visionaries, we are set to uncover new pathways where industry, innovation, and academia converge. It's with great pride that I now hand over the session to our CEO, sir. Sir, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great, Krishnaveni. Such a fantastic introduction. Special welcome to Dr. Gopal, Dr. Jaganathan, and Mr. Ommsharavana. Now, we have quite a challenge now, gentlemen, with this kind of introduction. We have the challenge at 3 o'clock to live up to this. Okay, let me now set the context. Uh, as you see here, we are not doing a conceptual exercise. We are doing something which will actually prepare for the Vikshit Bharat. Okay, the trigger for this was actually Doctor's post, Dr. Gopal's post, which was in sync with what JKKN has been trying to do. The primary issues here are the learners are strong in using models, but when people use the words like PG to PhD, where does that leave the faculty? How elevated is the experience that we give to the learners? Now, what are the issues we are talking about? In the next 45 to 50 minutes, we have a barrage of questions that is already reaching us. So many people across India are watching this. We have 5,000 students here in JKKN who are eagerly listening to this. The central point which we are projecting here is how it will be, how cruel the world will be if we work in a silo with no real world decision making exposure in a AI era. And is there a need to focus on solving real live cash flow problems? Some of you may be familiar in local commerce. In other words, are we teaching turnaround management without ever managing a turn? Are we teaching business without ever touching business? Now, these are the thoughts that I would like to all of you to think. So what's the current scene now? The academic priorities. As you see here, we have a situation where I will be playing the devil's advocate with the permission of the speakers here. We are in an era where Scopus index publications are priced. Priced over what? Priced over Gemba experience. We call it the field experience. Some of you may remember for 30 years in India, we are talking about immersion experience. For many, teaching has become a routine mix of PowerPoint text. Thank God today, PowerPoint is out. But still, we are talking about a pre-written Harvard case notes, student-led presentations. But at the end of the day, are these really missing the spark of a real engagement? No, these are the ideas that I'd like to throw. And most important, does it float in theory? Or do we actually fail to land in the lived realities of Indian markets, the mandis? In the last 7 years, I made a specific attempt to implement for the open network digital commerce in the western part of Tamil Nadu, and I'll come back to that. How did we do that when we actually did a Manipal-funded, startup? The last one here is that we've all been talking about employability and scalability for how many years now? Close to 2.5 decades. When are we going to bridge this gap between the theoretical knowledge and the practical applications? Are we really not sick about hearing this theory and practice? So, gentlemen, before I hand over the floor to the speakers, as a moderator, I would just like to reflect on the current fragile foundations and pedagogy and how we in JKKN in a tier 3 town are doing world class. And in my assessment, in the next 2 years, you will have a very big story to hear from a tier 3 town. The prevalent divide and present teaching model is actually fragmenting learning. It's hindering Indian students from developing a comprehensive, and we are all used to the word multidisciplinary projects in the IQA cluster concept. We're talking about interconnected systems thinking. We are using this word experiential learning, but then in a AI era with the notebook LM in a flipped classroom setting, how have we reduced it? And can we actually go and follow it up with a structured field visit with a proper context, understanding the Indian panchayat, the Indian tier 3 purchasing power, and the big question that Mr. Gopal has raised in his post, does the faculty have a dedicated time for industry immersion program? And is it something tailored to a specific cluster? We will refer to it today. We will also talk about the apprenticeship and the immersion internship programs that we are incorporating with the UGC guidelines. And last but not the least, how to now integrate the industry practitioners to teach specific modules. It may be a specialized module like retail management, or it could be something on a cost engineering. But then does it actually factor Indian business challenges? Okay. So what are we now left with? We are talking about, all of you may remember the IT boom. The flip side of that was the AC cubicles and the workspaces, the Gemba, the shop floor was actually given a go by. To such an extent today, we are telling whether you are in dentistry, whether you are in a pharma, whether you are a nurse, whether you are in manufacturing, we are telling the people, hey, can you go twice a shift to your workspace? Factory shop floor, has it become actually a downgrade? Okay, then what happens to the case study based teaching and learning, right? So what we need to do is map this with learning outcome. And let me tell you, we have a host of story to tell you about learning outcomes in JKKN. We will talk about it. We'll learn from Dr. Jaganathan. We'll learn from Dr. Gopal and from Mr. Wong. So the structured on-site observations should be followed up with post-visit reflection. So what we are saying at the end of the day is, why the Kirana stores are actually, we have 6 lakh undigitized Kirana stores in the country today, right? But unlike UPI, the road has not been so smooth. So how are we going to learn from the real supply chains, cash flow crisis, and the resource challenges, including the manpower challenges? And are we actually overusing in a fast developed India, when India has become the 4th largest economy in the world? Should we not change our pedagogy rather than talk about Western frameworks in our concept, in our context? In other words, we are not tired of debating agility in class, but we still don't have a solution when we have a problem at our hand. So this business of the faculty immersion that Dr. Gopal talks about on a shop floor, and the collective mindset and the shadowing of Monday traders is something that I think all of us should actually listen. This was the trigger, but then we have a big story to tell you to understand the real operations and reverse logistics. So gentlemen, before I invite the speaker, I would request everybody to just think about, India is at the end of the day, 70% or probably more than that, 65% data shows is actually widely prevalent, dependent on the MSME sector. So experiential projects, experiential learning projects, real world business challenges is what is guiding today's 2025, 2030, when India is supposed to add 80 to 100 billion per year through AI. Through simulations, students can step into real life roles. In other words, learning by doing. And more important, we'll come back to you and talk about a big interest in the last 25 days in Akash Tir, Jigwan. This is the basic brief. I would like to set the context. I would like to invite Dr. Gopal to make his initial observations. I would request the speakers, we will probably take 7 minutes each. So that will make it 21 minutes. And then we'll come back for the discussion. And then we'll go back to a particular 3 minute that we have on the Akash Tir. Why is it relevant? And then we'll go on with the question and answers. So with these few words, can I request Dr. V.V. Gopal to make his points, please? Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. I'm honored and flattered. Now, the article that I wrote was an outpouring of an angst over a 10-minute period. I didn't edit it. It was a very raw outpouring, and I just posted it. And subsequently, the number of responses, the number of people who got in touch with me to appreciate what I wrote and to, discuss so many aspects of what I was trying to communicate. I thought I had done a good job. Yeah, stirring the hornet's nest. Yeah, I'll just contextualize this story. See, first thing is, let's look at this. We have 2.9 lakh students who are writing the CAT exam year on year. Okay, and this year, 2.93 lakh students approximately had given the CAT exam. Now, India has a total of 1,100 odd recognized universities with 43,000 colleges and 11,000 standalone institutions. The other thing is, these 2.9 lakh students, when they write the CAT, they have aspirational value. They aspire to do a good MBA in a good institution and have a career for themselves. They have dreams, okay? But is India reaching out to their dreams? Let's look at this. 21 IIMs have 7,700 seats. And then the list of all the other great institutions, so-called MBA institutions, FMS, SPJ, Narsee Monji, MDI, Symbiosis, XLRI, IIFT, and IBS, and so on. Now, all of them put together, the number of seats is not even 5,000. So you have 7,000 odd for the IIMs and 5,000 for the rest. Then what happens to the rest of this 2.8 lakh or 7 lakh students? Where do they go? And how do they fulfill their dreams? And therefore, a lot of them probably do go to management institutions in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 cities. But are the colleges of tier 1, tier 2 caliber? I'm not sure. Okay. Now, we have to understand that the business world has changed, but the B schools haven't changed. That's the problem. Okay. We are preparing students to navigate VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. We are talking of bunny, okay, brittle, anxious, non-linear, incomprehensible. And now I think they're talking about GAMI, okay, gamified, algorithmic, metaversal, intangible. Now, I asked my MBA students, what is GAMI? He didn't know. And that's not his failure, it is our failure. He doesn't know, it's our failure. So therefore, let's understand the problem. See, the whole world of management has moved from an era of, where companies wanted deep specialists. I mean, they want deep specialists. We have moved away from the era of deep generalists. But the deep specialist must also have cross-functional knowledge, is what they say. Okay, it's not sufficient that he is a specialist in his domain. He needs to have cross-functional knowledge, but be a specialist. So that's a pretty complex thing. Are we preparing our students for that? Not sure. Then modern businesses, today they are valuing action-oriented thinkers over eloquent posturers. You can't just go and speak well and get away with it. You have to be action-oriented. Now, unfortunately, most management institutions in India, they continue to churn out graduates who know frameworks, but cannot frame a basic business statement. Students can recite Kotler, but they cannot sell a cooker. That is where the problem is starting. Okay. And why is this happening? This is happening because, now I'll come to this, the crux of the problem for the base of the article. Faculty remain largely disconnected from industry realities, and they are focused on completing the syllabus because they are mandated to do that. And they are focused on conducting the internal examinations, giving away marks, giving grades, getting feedback. I mean, that's what it is. But are they fostering creativity? Is there a space within your course to foster creativity, to pipe curiosity, to challenge the most? Is there space, opportunity for all this? I doubt. Then there are a lot of models that have become archaic. Books have become outdated. But our comfort zone is in downloading PPTs and teaching rather than helping students learn. So we are continuing to teach, and teaching is what they are used to for most of their academic journey. At the MBA level, we shouldn't be teaching. We should help them to learn. Unfortunately, we don't give that space. So, from an institution perspective, we should teach them for 2030, but we are taking them back to 2020. So if we don't fix the curriculum, we will be producing glorified clerks who try to get into the corporate ecosystem that no longer exists, unfortunately, because everything has changed so much. The curriculum hasn't changed. That's the whole problem. Okay. We talk about disruption, entrepreneurship, localization, and as Sir just now put it, 60 million MSMEs. And these are the real laboratories of business. And they are completely out of the curriculum of all the top B schools of India. I mean, I have reviewed quite a few of them. I keep looking at them. They are out of the curriculum. There is no internship with MSMEs. We hardly go to them. We hardly understand them. And we are not interested. But they are literally the backbone of, the economy in a big way. But hardly spoken about in these schools. And for that matter, how many faculty have actually spent time understanding an MSME to bring that knowledge into a classroom? You can count on your fingertips. Okay.
So
the other,
could I just stop you for a minute, Dr. Gopal?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the first few points on curriculum, internship, MSMEs, I think that's well taken. So I think I would bring in the other speakers.
Sure.
I would, because this is going to be fantastic, because there are two stalwarts like you, and we're going to have a great churning, like what Krishna did. So let's churn now. Let's start the churning process. So, yes, sir, we are waiting for Ommsharavana now. We'll go first now, second now. You can start. Mr. Jaganathan?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Yeah. Only request is there are close to 500 people watching this live, and we need to show that we're experts in time management, because so much of knowledge available. So I would request you humbly 7 minutes for the first round. Yes, sir. Please start.
Okay. Thank you for having me on this webinar. I'm humbled and honored to be part of JKKN family. Okay, so I will try to cover a little bit about the gaps between academic and industry. So I spent around 25 years after my graduation in PG and different projects. So I started my career in R&D, then I spent some time in manufacturing science and technology. Now I'm heading industry operations. Okay, so what I learned is what we call for interview. So I see a lot of gap. The first one is skill. So skill I just make into three parts. The first one is theory. So the basic science or the theory is very important. So what you learn. So you try, earlier speaker was talking about the just study. It is not study. You try to learn. So when you learn, when you try to understand, then you will have theory. You will never forget. So theory part is also very important. For example, when you make a batch, sometimes you will get output. You will not have conductivity. So if you do not know theory, like sodium chloride will give conductivity, and you have missed it. So this theory will help you to calculate and save the batch. If you waste one batch, for our case, it's around 400 crore per batch. So I cannot afford to discard the batch or waste the batch. So your theory and common sense is very important, though common sense is not common to all. So this is very important to have basic theory and practical. So whenever you your degree is not very important. What you learn from your degree. So when you come out as a B Farm, then when you go for M Farm, what is your maturity level? What did you learn from B Farm to M Farm, and what you can do for company. So this is very important. So the practical aspect also will be trained by company. So when we hire you as a trainee, so we have 1 year program to train you. We will not expect from anything. We just train you. So we will make you a subject matter expert, SME. Then we will give you assignment. Okay. Then it's cross-functional knowledge. Suppose if you're studying only chemistry or pharmaceutics, so you learning only pharmaceutics will not help. So having additional basic knowledge in industry, for example, when you are joining, so if I'm heading for production, or when I run a project, I should have a basic knowledge from quality assurance, regulatory, and when I submit the submission to DCG, how long do they take? So this will help me to make me a leader. Okay, there are difference between leader and manager. If manager guy who gives works and takes out, so he creates fear and he takes out. So I don't want to be you should not be a manager, you should be a leader. So leader who gives confidence, who runs a project, and who does right risk assessment, who delivers the deliverable on time to the management. He is the leader. So you have to be a leader. If you have to be a leader, then you need to have good basic knowledge, learning. And learning is like, even I learned today, like I was in another facility, so something I learned today. So learning is a continued process. It is like GMP. So current GMP, whatever you have today, it is not applicable for tomorrow's action. So you have to learn, and this is continuous process. So the cross-functional knowledge and interprofessional departmental, relationship is key in sustaining, in industry. Then other part what I wanted to highlight is employability issues. So some students, they go to comfort zone. Say for example, if you are in Komarapalayam with certain friends and certain shops and certain habits, you have to come out when you join in industry. You have to try to learn something new. I'll just give you an example. I was discussing with your colleague Ranganathan sir, Rangarajan sir. So what happened when we hired around 25 students last year? So they are not ready to come. What the root cause, what I realized was they don't want to change their food habit. So whatever you eat, it's not necessary. If I have not adapted to new food habits or new environment, so I'm not going to be here. So you need to change. You should change. You should be. You should accept for any changes to in learning technologies, in learning new things. So you will not get, actually you have to give for new opportunities to learn, and try to discuss with different scientists to learn something relevant in your area. Okay, then when you come from state to state, again food habit changes, then your everything will change. So you have to adapt to the new environment, which is very important. Okay, so then again, if you're growing, if you're becoming a leader, there are something industrial applications. So then if you are becoming HOD, your expectation is going to be different. You need to run a project, you need to have good interpersonal relationship, you have to discuss with the different regulatory bodies, you have to discuss with the before you go for a meeting and go, what is your expectation and what you can do, what is the best case scenario, what is the worst case scenario. So having these principles in mind, like lean principles, what you follow in industrial operations, this will always be a good roadmap for your career and also industry. Okay, so I'll just give you with respect to industry perspective. Suppose if I'm in industry, if I ask from a management example, 1,000 crore for developing 5 facilities. Okay, so this can be something operational cost and facility cost. So when I ask for X capex, and if I don't develop, if I don't present them the payback period and return on investment on other critical components, if I don't complete my project on time, then I will be fired actually. So there are key components that you have to learn during your journey in industry. Then once you have a complete process knowledge or package with respect to R&D, industrial operations, regulatory, quality assurance, and how to run a project and what can go wrong, risk analysis, risk mitigation, then if you are running 100 projects, you will be successful in at least 90 projects.
That
So
was
this is how you have to.
yeah, that was lovely, Dr. Jaganathan. I mean, you started with skill gaps and moving away from theory and common sense, which is uncommon, practical training, continuous learning, getting out of your comfort zones. Most important, everybody today talks about adaptability quotient. So I think it is wonderful on your part to have covered almost 7 to 8 major points. So I will just pause for a minute to invite the third speaker here, Mr. Ommsharavana is waiting here. So can we request him? Yes, Mr. Om.
So, good afternoon to all of you. Vanakkam. We've been talking about one from academia and one from industry has talked about all that is lagging in the current academia and what is expected in industry. We in JKKN has come out with the strategy with the advent of AI, artificial intelligence, impacting all sectors in some way or other. Many people tell me that how will it affect manufacturing? How will it affect the industry? So I tell them every every business or a manufacturing or a practice service involves a set of workflows, and set of workflows means there are different steps in the workflow, and it's not that AI will 100% take over all the steps in the workflow. In every workflow, there will be 20% to 80%, 90% of the steps which AI will be impacting. Over a period of time, we will see businesses, services, and everyone getting disrupted, because if even if you are able to bring efficiency, cost, and so on in 20% of what you do in a workflow, over a period of time of over a period of 5 years in this competitive world, you lose out. So we are very clear, even as an institution, we will lose out. This applies to everyone. So we have a strategy of one, you need to know to apply AI in your domain, whichever domain it is. It could be nursing, it could be textile, dentistry, whatever it is. You should be able to apply the artificial intelligence technologies, which is today nothing to do with technology. It is just mindset, I would say. So applying that in their domain is one thing. And the second, we should get better at things AI can't do. So which means there are many things still which AI can't do, like networking, collaboration, teamwork, leadership, communication, conflict resolution, and so on. So we need to get better over there. Classrooms, which we call now learning studios, we want classrooms to be not a place where you come transact some knowledge. Previously, knowledge was available on Google and YouTube. Today, intelligence is also available on artificial intelligence tools. So knowledge and intelligence transfer is almost done and dusted now. It can be transferred or it can be personalized. So that is where in the curriculum over the last few months, we brought in the Notebook LM tool, through which the faculty shares the notes and the books and the last year's question papers or whatever it is, and the learner learns at his own pace, the way he wants. If he wants to learn like a 5th grade level, if he wants to learn at the 8th grade, if he wants to learn in Tamil, if he wants to learn by voice, the notes becomes as a voice podcast, and that voice podcast is they can listen in Tamil, in English, and whichever language they are comfortable. At the end, they should know to learn and apply what they learn. So that is what is important. So when they come to the classroom, there should be discussion on how these things, what you learn, can be applied. So that is what we are trying to do. I think the faculty needs to. I see many of them. Those who are studying are using it. Those who are not studying, really, or were not, who are in the middle, are the ones. I think the faculty needs to push. The faculty is not doing that push, and when it comes to always that 20% is not using it, we should leave them. We should focus on the 80%. So as part of this structuring and all these, we this year are introducing the apprenticeship embedded degree program, which was allowed by University Grant Commission UGC 2 months ago. So 3 semesters in the factory, 3 semesters in the campus. So we have brought in that in the arts and science because it's autonomous. So we brought in 3 of the programs where they will be going into the industry with prior knowledge of artificial intelligence in their sector, in their domain. They will be taught a course in the program. Every semester is taught in such a manner that they are ready to go and, like a consultant, go to the company and offer their services, learn from them, both of them learn. So it is not like you go just learn and come. No, we are looking at, because the institution, we as a the institution vision has always been to be a global innovative solution provider for the ever-changing needs of the society. So our thing is to provide solutions to the industry. Now with the industry, everyone, I consult many industries, I give consultation to many industries. So I see that they're lagging there in many primitives, right from content generation to research to brainstorming. There, I see many places where they have not been able to apply because they know that AI is there, but they're not able to apply it in into what they do. So we have set up this model where they go into the shop floor, they learn what they're doing and take the feedback and come apply AI and build solutions for them. So that is what we are now attempting to do now. And we have set up the curriculum, and even even apart from the AEDP thing, in Arts and Science College, we have brought in 75 days of internship. Right after the first semester, they go on for 15 days, understand how companies work and so on. And immediately after the second semester, they go for 1 month. They go apply what they learned over there. And third semester, again, they go for 30 days again. So total of 75 days, which is the maximum allowed by the UGC. We have this is in all other courses, which is apart from the AEDP, apprenticeship embedded. So that's the kind of thing. It's not, why do we say classroom to shop floor? It's a classroom to shop floor. It's a flywheel. It's a round thing. It's like from classroom, you go to shop floor, you get data from there, and then you come back to the classroom. Then you do things, then you learn things, apply things, and then go back and again go to the shop floor. This is a round thing. This is how it should work, but it's not happening right now. Our engineering college also, we are in the process of autonomous. We are just waiting for the state university to give us some go ahead. Once that comes, in our engineering colleges also, we are ready to apply the same thing even this year. And in dental college, we have now we have tied up with 15 dentists around Tamil Nadu, where 15 days the internship will be there in their clinic. So because in a dental college, our priority has been to have the learner should be good to practice immediately after he graduates on his own confidently. So this is another step. We are asking them, go to the clinic, do everything what they learn, because it's the alumni which we have tied up first. So they'll be more open in sharing knowledge, in giving them work. So they will go learn 15 days experience, learn more about how actually this is being done. What you do in the campus hospital is different. But when you go meet real people and so on, it's different. So we are doing that 15 days in dental. Same, we want to extend much more in pharmacy college, in allied health science and all, nursing and all. We want to give more practical exposure. That is what we are doing. And this, even I understand, even curriculum is not alone is needed. We need to also change the way assessments and assignments are given. If you give an assignment today, people go to ChatGPT, give it, and copy and paste. Copy and pasting something what some generative AI is giving is of no use, and that we need to change, and we are working on how assignments should be given. We have created some models. We are going to do that this year. Assessments also needs to change. Assessments, usual assessments of just 3 hours of assessments, like written assessments, is of waste. So we are bringing in a lot of changes over there. We brought in the curriculum as all this implements. I think this classroom to shop floor flywheel will be enabled. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So that's great, and we would just like to get the opinions of audience here. So how is it going? We have a flurry of questions that has already come. Please keep shooting your questions. We definitely have a Q&A session. I would request Dr. Gopal and Dr. Jagannath to show your face again so that we can have a rapid fire session. And also, I'm asking the audience to give your opinions. How is it going? We want to have a real time, because this is a AI era. We do 30 hours of 30 minutes of discussion without engagement and feedback. My scores will go low. So I would request to know audience to keep reflecting upon, is it going the right way? We just have another 25 minutes to go. The circular that Mr. Ommsharavana mentioned is a circular that some of you have raised with me. This is a circular by the University Grants Commission, dated 24th March 2025 on apprenticeship embedded degree program, AEDP, where other than the NEP 2020, some of you may be familiar with the National Education Policy, which emphasizes on making education more holistic. So they want to make it effective, not only holistic. Now, how do they do it? They are saying we'll integrate academic, that is general academic, and then vocational education. That's why, while ensuring the vertical and horizontal mobility of students. So previously they used to take a vertical, today they also take a horizontal focus. In this way, the divide between academic and vocational streams are well met. So I would request all of you, just go through this circular, this big discussion that we have had in the last 20 years in this country about immersion. I think it's finally over. I will just request the audience to give me a minute. Can you just show me the... Yeah. So this is to shift gears and to compress all the discussions that we have had. Jaganathan spoke about common sense, mindset. We spoke about a whole host of things about getting out of your comfort zone, right? And we have a host of questions here. So let us for a minute pause on what happened on 22nd of last month. We all know that, right? But then Akash Tir is just not a defense sector. What it has happened now in the last 3 weeks. The AI command network, automated threat detection, it has actually led to a drone federation in India. And I'm told millions of thousands of MSMEs are involved in this. And this is a huge pass for the audience who are listening here to know how interforce coordination and situational awareness can actually tell us what is the features of Akash Tir: speed, accuracy, precision, risk mitigation, planning, strategy, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So believe me, much of it, the people who are going to be involved in all these things, who are already in this, I'm sure the next 3 to 5 years, we are going to see much of the indigenization is jobs in India. And who are those people? People like you and me, right? Who have so far not taken the big league about startups and entrepreneurship. Here is a world where Akash Tir has given us. It is not only integrating robotics, of course, AI, and of course, the navigational system, and more important, the traditional operation research has not been forgotten. And all streams of engineering you can think of. I will request this audience to please go through the IIT Madras director's video, which was released last week for the engineering admission, where he talks about integrating all the engineering disciplines, the core of mechanical, chemical, and aeronautical, along with the emerging and always evergreen electronics and communication and image processing. So please go through this video. So what I would request before we give a pass, the purpose of talking about Akash Tir is actually a mindset change. It's creating huge jobs across the country for untouched segments where people can come, people can participate, and you can take part in the late. It's not only drone tech, it's about different, a huge array of jobs. So what I would request Dr. Gopal, as we get into the last round of our discussions, are there anything that you see as the current trends as we add 80 to 100 billion through AI in the next 4 to 5 years? Dr. Gopal, what are your, critical points? We speak about adaptability, critical thinking,
Yeah.
execution. These are all evergreen skills. But then it has been replaced by a word, the power skills today. Now,
Yeah.
soft skills and power skills. So, what are your, the killer words that you would like the audience to listen to, Dr. Gopal? Because you are driving an MBA business school, we understand. But then you also have been in corporate, you have been in business. So, you have the best of both
So
worlds.
yeah. So I think we are leapfrogging basically. Whatever we are talking about the Akash theory and all that, and with hell a lot of respect for the director of IIT. He is sitting at in the most premium institution of India and is talking about something that relates to the most premium B school, I mean, engineering school of India, integration. I'm very, very far away from that now. I'm talking about my 2 lakh odd students every year, which means in 10 years, 10 lakh students, or, at least something. What about them is what my concern. What about those, thousands of B schools in India, which are not looked at by anyone? Typically, for medicine, you have a medical council of India. For law, you have the Bar Council of India, and the biggest segment today for students who are not into engineering or who are not into law or medicine is management. But we don't have something like a Bar Council or a medical council, like a management council of India, where management experts sit and tell us what should be the roadmap for management education in India. That is absent. We have something called the CII, we have something called the IMA. They exist in their own world. And I'm looking at something else altogether. Where I'm coming from is that what about the CEOs, the vice presidents, and all? They should probably be engaging more with the B schools to bring technology and relevant curriculum into the system and structure of running a B school. You must have systems thinking, you must have design thinking, you must have scenario planning, you must have entrepreneurship, you must have failure labs. In fact, recently I called somebody who played hockey for India. One of the things I told him is, you will only talk about your failures till through your journey, because in the class all the case studies are on success stories. So a romantic story, a romantic movie is always entertaining for everyone.
Right.
What about the failures? How, if we don't teach them what is failure, how to get up after you fail, day on day, week after week, if you don't teach them that, then we are not going to make great managers out of them. Entrepreneurship requires very strong backbone to face failures. We don't teach that. So I said we need to have failure labs. Right. So these are things, from design thinking to failure labs. MSME immersion should be part and parcel of the course structure, which is completely absent. So that is why I will advocate that we need a management council of India kind of a body, where think tanks, thinkers of management education sit and tell us what kind of management program is good for India. Given that industry goes back to the management students and recruits them, they need a very good pipeline of MBAs. And that pipeline will happen whether it is tier 3, where you're talking about, or tier 2, whatever you're talking about. That pipeline will emerge only when industry engages with the B schools in developing curricula, in teaching. At IILM, we have one module which is taught only by the industry people. So one module of every course. So if they have 8 courses, then there are 8 industry people who will come and do 3-4 sessions for them. That exposure is immense. I think we have to build all that into the structure of the curriculum. These are, I'll rest my case here.
No, Dr. Gopal, I was just playing the devil's advocate. That I'm supposed to be doing that as a moderator, right? I've been doing this. When I saw your post, it was great. So just before we get into the last 10 to 12 minutes, one question which directly I can ask Mr. Gopal is, one of our doctors, she is asking us, No, we are talking about intelligent quotient, spiritual quotient, emotional quotients, right? But then she's talking about adaptability quotient. So based on your experience, you are an academician, everybody's talking about AQ today, not even SQ. So could you tell us, actually this has come from Dr. Kritika. She's asking, why is adaptability critical in modern education to industry transition? So, a quick, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, see, there are two words, adaptation and adoption. Okay, I think they go together. You cannot have one and not have the other.
Adaptation and adoption, yeah.
Adoption. You have to adopt a lot of things. You have to take them into you. And adapt is learning to acclimatize, adjust, and transform yourself. And this transition is something that we will do through discussions on cases rather than presentation of cases. So when the discussions happen, that adaptability and adaptability, these kind of things, they get ingrained into the students, which is exactly what a good B school should be doing. So I think we have to understand that.
Yeah, playing the devil's advocate further, this is more or less titled AI, but I would request all the panel members here, can we all exist without understanding AI from next year? It's very difficult. So I'll just read this question by Dr. Radhika. How would you respond to criticism that AI-driven education prioritizes industry demands over holistic student development? I'll repeat again. She says, how would you respond to criticism that, in JKKN, we have a town hall, we permit people to ask all kinds of questions. We don't have answers to everything, but that's I think we are in an AI era, right? We don't have solutions for everything. But then she's asking, how would you respond to criticism that AI-driven education prioritizes, according to her, industry demands over holistic student development? I mean, just some thoughts.
Can I respond quickly to Madam? Very fundamentally, just go back to the 1930s when the MBA program came into existence. Why did it come into existence in the first place? It was not to give some kind of holistic knowledge to students, and that philosophical quotient or thing was not there. The objective of starting this by Harvard was to cater to the industry demands by Ford, General Motors. These were, so Peter Drucker comes into the picture there, the father of modern management theories. So to cater to industry, we started management programs, and then we understood what they want and said we'll have finance specialization, marketing specializations. How did they come in? They came in because industry kept asking for it. So here we are not building students for some grandiose design, but to make them career ready and job ready. So that's the whole concept. So let's work on that.
Oh, great. That's excellent. A quick question to Dr. Jaganathan. I see him relaxing. A lot of questions for you. I have 25 questions with me. So I have just taken 2. I'm raising an FAQ lab and I will put it across to you tomorrow. But this particular question was, I thought, a killer. Okay. Now she's talking about what kind of specialized AI skill sets will be the most in demand for pharmacy graduates, essentially in the next 5 to 10 years. And they want to know in the Indian pharma industry, they're not interested in Pfizer or Novartis. We're talking about our own Ciplas or DRLs. So essentially, what kind of skills and essentially what kind of AI skill sets in the next 5 to 10 years in the Indian pharma? Dr. Jaganathan.
I'm sorry, it was on mute. Yeah. I hope I'm audible now.
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. So I will try. Yes, great. So I will try to cover with respect to Indian pharma industry perspective. I just wanted to correct her. There is no guidelines for Indian pharma, Pfizer or other company. So we have one guidelines. If you have to be in US market, so you have one guidelines. If you have to be in Europe, you have one guideline. If you have to be in India, you have one guidelines. If you have to be in WHO market, 1044. So there is only one guideline. So every company has to fulfill. Okay, now I'll take these questions with respect to artificial intelligence in pharma industry. So even recently we have implemented, so we could reduce almost 70% manpower in our new facilities. So I'll just give you an example. When you have a vaccine, parental vaccines, so once you fill into the primary pack material, that is glass vial, rubber stopper strategy. If you go for manual visual inspection, a normal human eye can detect up to after 50 micron particle, but the probability of detection is only 60%. It varies man to man. Okay, so what we have done, we have procured automatic visual inspection, reject online. The speed is 500 vials per minute online from the filling machine, direct visual inspection with the 88 fill volume, scratches on black particle, white particle, the fibers. So this happens online. So we have the napkins, and we train the systems through artificial intelligence. Whenever you find any scratches on my no rubber stopper, the external particles, you have three types of particle. One is intrinsic, extrinsic, and inherent. So inherent can be acceptable. So this AI helps. The inherent particle is from the process product. It is acceptable. The other intrinsic and extrinsic particle has to be removed. So we trained the machine AI-based approach. And now if I have to manufacture 1,000 liter to fill in our into the filling machine, I need 800 man FTE. Okay, so in industry we call it FTE, so 800 manpower. Okay, so when we integrate this, we can complete in 30 manpower, and the probability of detection is 95%. So this is just one case, case study. So similarly we have in formulation, and we have filling.
Fine.
Again, we have drug substance.
Fine. Now we are now moving on to a rapid fire round. A rapid fire round is in a chess. There is a traditional chess, and then there is a long-term chess, and there is a rapid fire chess, right? So as we enter the last segment, this is thrown open to anybody, right? The next time we do this, we will give an incentive to the best presenter also. Okay. So this question goes like this by Krishnika. She's asking, if you were a student again, how would you prepare yourself for this AI-powered shop floor era? I repeat again, if you were a student again, how would you prepare yourself for this AI-powered shop floor era? Anybody can answer this.
So I will try to list out the lessons learned and the problems faced. Yeah. So lessons learned and problems faced.
Thank God,
and
none of us are
students.
Are you saying, thank God, none of us are students now? It's quite difficult. Mr. Om, would you like
no,
to?
Sir. No. I beg to differ. It's so exciting and, to be a student now in this era. The power of technology to help me in understanding so quickly and so fast. I mean, that's so magical. It's beautiful. Okay, now to directly answer your question, if I were a student today, I would do a lot of courses on technology and see how I can integrate it with my courses, every course, finance, marketing, HR, whatever. How can I leverage on technology to excel in that course? Very simple.
Right. Excellent. Okay. So along with that comes another question. This one by Tanishka. What she's asking, what are the key challenges students face when transitioning from the classroom? So this is about the challenge. And typically all these people want to know how do I prepare myself? You have given an answer. What kind of challenges do I face? Because we are out into the reality now, right? That's the market today. So there's nothing. Tamil Nadu typically is an urbanized state, more than 55% urbanized. Does it make sense to talk about rural market and urban market anymore? So except the digital divide. So how would you say, what are the key challenges students face when transitioning from the classroom to the shop floor? Challenges, 1, 2, 3. Jaganathan, Mr. Om.
Okay, the challenges, if you see, when we hire them, we have enough training. Actually, we give them and we choose the best students. For example, if we hire 100 members and we give them training, and based on their the learning skill and the SME, we separate them. This guy will go to QA, this guy will go to production. So the training program will be maybe, we will have option to analyze their skills. Whether he is good at chemistry or the learning skill, and he is whether proactive. So generally, when you are taking his job, you have to be proactive. You should not be reactive. You should not wait for someone to instruct you. So you have to
Fine.
be proactive to take up and grab the activities.
Fine. So the next question, this says it's a hypothetical question. Okay, JKKN people can ask all kinds of questions. They're asking a hypothetical question. How to overcome resistance from students and workers? Quick tips. We want to listen to the experts. Resistance.
Okay. Dr. Gopal, you want to take this or you want me?
Yeah. I'm game for
Okay.
anything.
So, you
there
see-
is no straight-jacketed answer on how do you handle resistance. Resistance is inherent trait of every human being. We resist going to school when we were kids to something else today. Resistance is there in our DNA. The only thing, the best way to handle resistance is to sit on the other side of the table, understand why the resistance is, what's the germ, and just deal with it. It's not so challenging as we assume it is. It's not.
Okay. So this question, I think I will pose it to Mr. Om. Is it possible to use AI to predict patient inflow or business trends in a dental clinic? Very interesting question. She's talking about patient inflow. So how to use AI, and is it possible to use AI to predict? We are talking about predictive dentistry. But what about patient inflow or business trends in a dental clinic?
So just I'll just start with the previous questions also. Talking about, do you want to become a student once again? Today the world is changing so rapidly that you need to be a student always. You need to continuously learn. Even I do learn. I get up early morning 4:30 and learn every day 3 to 4 hours. So that's the way the world is today. You need to learn, and then when you go and in the world, you need to adapt according to it. So adapt, learn, adapt. This is a continuous journey. There's no more. You come to college or school to socialize, network, develop friends, create communication, do things which the digital world or the other world cannot do. You come experiment so that you go to the world and do it. That's how the world is today, and that is what education institutions need to do now. So covering that and coming to the question of what was the question on?
How do you quick 30-second on how to use AI to predict patient inflow? Patient inflow on a dental clinic.
Yeah. So see, we have the patient management system, which is the passive data, and the active data is through sensors in your dental chairs and other things, which will capture active data. So when you take the active data, passive data, and train on that data, you are able to start predicting what will happen next, how this kind of patient comes, how it will happen. So this is basically called precision dentistry. We in JKKN dental colleges, we just started off with the department of precision dentistry, where you're able to develop solutions which will start predicting what if a patient is like this, or you develop solutions, protocols based on that. So it is possible that, and you're going to see, if you're going to be here for next 1 year, you'll be able to see that.
Okay. So
You're in mute, sir. You're in mute.
You are not audible.
Sir is in mute.
We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. So I unmuted myself. So what we are saying is ultimately collective transformation, just not blind adoption. Do your homework, understand the Gemba, understand the culture, contextualize it, and most important, love the organized chaos, right? We have the engineers, Jugaad. We can do a vibrant immersion. It's complex, but we must unlearn to truly teach. Step beyond and into reality. Now, this is the beating of the new Bharat. So, I would request the speakers to give their final word. Can you show the last slide? So how was it? And you can reflect upon it. We intend to do almost a couple of webinars every month. And basically, we want to ensure that we move from a pure theoretical classroom. Theory is important, but then we also understand the larger context, have a helicopter view. So, Dr. Gopal, Dr. Jagannath, would you want to give us any parting remark? How did you find it? How did you find the session?
Yeah, I think it's useful. Let's put it this way that it's an
Dr.
extremely
Gopal?
yeah, we've had a very interesting discussion. Very useful points have come up, and yeah, I think a lot more of these kind of brainstorming sessions are always welcome because it gives an opportunity for us to uh, look at so many ideas from a kaleidoscopic perspective, and we get the entire array of thoughts. That's useful. That's good.
Yeah, and you are sitting in Lucknow, and I am sitting in Kumarapalayam, and we are talking about Bharat, and that's the beauty, right? I mean, so much of
Absolutely,
excitement.
absolutely.
I cannot but agree with you. Yes, Dr. Jaganathan, before we wind up.
I think it's same here. It can be a bridge between. I'm muted. Am I audible? Okay. Yes, it's a good initiative to have a bridge between students and what we see, and we can define further roadmap to have this bridge between R&D and industry perspective with the academic. Good initiative.
Yeah, I think it's a good start, and people from all parts of the world should be attending to this, and we hope to learn from each other. I think we need to make it more interactive, and I think the moderator has been talking more. I think so. We need to reduce the time given to moderator and take more interactive questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Bye.